No. The Rebbe explains that what is the Aveda of a Yid? Aveda of a Yid is that through Torah bringing in Nitzchias in world, in the Chayishah. The Chayelam hu HaChayishah l'mayla medida v'agbola. Higher than the limitation, the Zeh Masha Nikra Chayelam Chayim Nitzchim. Elam Loshen Nitzchias. There's two words. In other words, Elam could be explained Helam v'Hester, it's concealed. Or Elam could also mean everlasting, always. With the Rebbe Marash explains Taken Amayma, there's Avas Elam, that a person has in Nilkach min Yoni Elam from world, and then there's also Elam forever, it's a stronger Ava. Ubisviras, and in the attributes, these two are also reflected. This goes on the attribute of Malchus, of royalty, which is the lowest of all the attributes. That is the source for time and place. Because what is the idea of Malchus, royalty? There should be time and place. In order there should be a nation on which to rule. There's no royalty without a nation. So therefore there is a need of time and place. And therefore Malchus constitutes and accomplishes that it should be created, that it should be through Malchus. It sustains time and place. Chayelam are the emotions in the higher attributes. It's called Zeiranpin, the characteristics, and they are in a person's emotions, which are higher than time and place. Which means that when it comes, for example, in the person himself, there's also these two things. There is Zoh and there's Malchus. There is Zoh, which is higher than time and place, which means the emotions, as he is still removed from the person around him, from the world outside of him. And then there is the second inyan, is Malchus, is already levushim. They're the garments of the neshama, machshava, dibur, maisa. And as namely, dibur and maisa already relate, speech and deed relate to the outside world. Speech is that he reveals what he's thinking or what he's feeling. And dib maisa is even more, deed is even more an extension outside of him to the outside world. So therefore, this is basically the two inyanim. There's one which is higher than world, one is that relates to world. Malchus, being royalty, it relates to world because there's a need for creation of world. Otherwise, there's no Malchus, there's no royalty. You need to have a nation, an independent party which is committed to the king. On the other hand, Chayelam means something that's complete Zoh, which are the higher attributes, higher than Malchus, that are higher than time and place. Don't take in consideration time and place. That the whole world was also placed in the heart of every person. A person is a microscopic world, so whatever is in the world is in a person. As it's mentioned in Novus Drab Nosen, that there is a forest in the world, there is hair in a person. Everything, kol ma sheyesh ba'adam, yesh ba'elam. Kol ma sheyesh ba'elam, everything that's in the world is in the person. The male, everything, the sun, the moon, are the eyes of the person. And that's how everything is reflected in the person. Even it says the malach hamoves, as ishtet oloshen. The okev sheba'adam, the heel of a person, is the malach hamoves of the person. In the person, the devil in the person. Which is the lowest part of the body, which is the part on which a person steps. Because there's the least highest, the least sensitivity there, and that's why a person doesn't feel any pain when he walks on his feet, on his heels. And that's why it is called Malach HaMoves, because that's the least highest sensitivity from the whole body. Mashenkin, walking on the head is not really so successful, at least for a long time. The same thing is also in a person, Yashnam Beis and Yonan Tefillah Teira. Same thing also in the Aveda of a person. There is actually the two inyanim. There is prayer and there is Torah, studying Torah. What is the difference? So the difference basically is Tefillah inyano alom l'mata l'mayla. The inyan of Tefillah prayer is something that is elevating from below to above. That the sulam mutzavartza, the ladder is standing under the ground and his head reaches heaven. Which means that he's climbing up the ladder, and in the same sense that a ladder has 4 steps, in the same sense Tefillah has 4 sections. It has a section Psuke de Zimra, then there's Bichas Krishma, then there's Krishma, then there's Shemoneh Esrei, and then there is the Hemshech and the Siyum. It's called Shiori HaTfilah. In Kabbalah Sidurim, it's called Shiori, the end of the davening.
Which ladder has 4 steps?
Chassidus brings that the average, unless you climbed on a ladder that has more or that has less, but more is Zicha could be. It seems like the minimum is 4 shlavim, as each state. לפיכך, גם ההמשכה של יודו היא לפי ערך אביידס האדם, שהיא במדידה והגבלה. Therefore, the המשכה מכיוון שאביידס התפילה ממטה למעלה, since the service of prayer is from below to above, לפיכך גם ההמשכה של יודו, therefore what a person draws down through tefillah, that he gets back in respect to what he accomplished, is based on what he accomplished. It's with limitation. It's called Chayishah. As it's mentioned, Chazal, what does Chayishah mean? Tefillah. Tefillah has a limited time to daven. There's a certain time for davening. So that's called Chayishah, that it's connected with limitation. Because it is on his initiative, so therefore it is dependent on his Aveda. On the other hand, the inyan of Teira is drawing down from above to below. Higher than the service of a person. Because it is not dependent on him. Gamer, that the Eibishter's words are like fire. The same way that fire does not become impure, the same thing is also divrei Torah not mekabel tuma, which means it's not within the reach of the creation, and it's beyond the reach of the creation. It is from above to below. And therefore, when he is accomplishing something, it is completely not dependent on his initiative. That even when a person learns Torah, and the one that studies Torah finds himself in a situation that he's not as he should be, which means he might be impure, he doesn't make any change, he has no effect on the Torah, because the Torah is beyond his reach in being affected.